What are the two meanings of the word hot? I'm sure you would know the two meanings for this word. The first one is something which is very warm to touch, and the moment you touch it, your hand burns. That's called hot. And there's another meaning of the word hot, which means a person who looks very gorgeous. Isn't that true? The same way in English, we have a lot of words which have two meanings. One is a common meaning and the other is a slang meaning, which means an informal meaning. You can only use one of the meanings when you're writing, but the other meaning you can only use when you're speaking. So if you want to know such common English words which have got two meanings, then watch this complete lesson. My name is Michelle and you're watching me on Let's Talk. Okay, so we started this lesson with the adjective hot. Isn't that true? So we know that the two meanings for hot are warm, very warm, okay, something that can burn your skin, and the other is something that can burn your eyes. A very good looking person or a very attractive person is called hot. We can use both of these in a sentence. So if a cup is very hot, you would say that don't touch the cup, it's still very hot, okay? And if you want to make tea, you would say we need hot water for making tea. But if you want to talk about a person, you could say that there's a hot guy walking down the street, or there are some hot girls over the bar. This is how you use this adjective in two different ways. One is a common way which you can write, and that is this one. But you cannot write this meaning when you're writing a paper or writing it down, possibly in an exam or anywhere else, okay? The next one we have is called as dough. Yeah, we call it almost as dough. We don't call it duff, we call it dough. Do you know what is a dough? Well, the common meaning, as in the meaning that you can write, is a mixture of water and wheat flour. You often use this to make breads, all right? So breads in India and breads in other countries is made by dough, and this is used for making breads. A mixture of water and flour. And what is the other dough? Well, this is also as good as the dough we eat, and this one is money. Money is also called dough in English, but this is an informal slang meaning which you cannot use when writing. So, dough also means money. And to use this, you would say that they lost a lot of dough in their recent business deal, which means they lost a lot of money in their recent business deal. You could also say that I've picked up this weekend job to make some extra dough, which means to make some extra money. Okay, now with this we look at the next one, which is high, okay? Now when something is high, it's up above. Is that true? What's the opposite for the word high? Low, isn't that? So one meaning of high is opposite of low. Like you could say that the airplanes fly high in the sky, right? Or you could also say that the risk of diabetes is very high these days, okay, which means a lot. Okay, but the other meaning of high is when you are very drunk or, under the effects of drugs, you're actually high. So when you're drunk, that's when you're high. And if you would want to use this word in a sentence, you could say that, hey, please don't drink so much. Whenever you get high, you fight a lot, which means whenever you get drunk, you fight a lot. And otherwise, we've often read the statements on the road, don't drink and drive. Sometimes if your friend is planning to drive after drinking, you could say that, hey, you're too high. I don't think you should drive. Okay, so this is how you can use this word high with two different meanings. Okay, now the next one we have is dump. Okay, so dump in casual as an informal English means when you put too many things one upon the other. So let's say that your wardrobe is totally dumped, which means that you have clothes over the other which are not organized, okay? So your mother might be telling you often, don't dump your wardrobe, which means don't put so many clothes one over the other, okay? So dump is putting one over the other, creating a heap of things. Now, the other meaning of dump is also very popular, and I think you will know this one. So, dump, the other meaning for this word is when you give up on someone or when you break a romantic relationship, okay? Dump means to break up with someone. So, if you break up with your boyfriend because he is cheating on you, this means you are dumping your boyfriend. Or if your best friend's boyfriend is cheating on her, you could say that, hey, I think you need to dump Ray because he's cheating on you. Okay? So this is how you use this one. Now the next one we have is dig. Alright. So dumping is when you put one over the other, and digging is when you dig the ground to make a hole. So when you're trying to make a hole in something, you're digging it. Okay? This is a common verb in English. This is what we mean by dig. To make a hole in the ground. Now, dig can also mean when you enjoy something, you can say that you are digging it. Okay? Dig can also mean to enjoy. So if you like Taylor Swift, you could say that I dig Taylor Swift's music, which means I enjoy Taylor Swift's music. Or you could say that I digged Taylor Swift's concert, which means I enjoyed Taylor Swift's concert. So this is how you use dig. Now the next one we have with us is grand, okay? A grand party, which means a big party. So you could say that James threw a big party for his daughter's birthday. Is that true? So you could use this word to say that James threw a grand party for his daughter's birthday. So here grand means big. But do you know grand can mean something else also? Like dough can mean money. The same way grand can mean $1,000. Okay, $1,000 is called a grand. So $1,000 are called a grand. You could say that Rebecca makes 60 grands a year, which means she makes $60,000 a year. And you could also say that they sold their house for 200 grand, which means $200,000, which is a really big figure. So next time when someone says grand, it doesn't only mean big, it can also mean $1,000. All right, now let's move forward in our list, and this one is beat. So beat can obviously have two meanings, okay? The first meaning is to beat someone, which means to hit someone, okay? To hit someone. Now, beat can also mean, in common English, to defeat someone. Is that true? To defeat someone. Like you could say that India defeated England with 3 runs in the final World Cup. The same way you could say that he was beating his fist on the door, which means he was hitting his fist on the door. Now, beat can also mean in slang English that someone is very tired, okay? Beat can also mean tired. So if you're too tired, you could say that I'm beat, which means that you're very tired. So if you've had a journey for 30 hours, you could say that I'm really beat after 30 hours of journey, all right? Now we look at the next one, which is joint. So the English meaning, the common meaning of joint is that we use it for the noun in our body, which is the joints in our body. So where 2 or more bones come together and join together, that place is called a joint. Like here, your elbow is a joint, your knee is a joint, and we often go and tell the doctor, my joints are paining, okay? So this is the noun which we use for our body, where two bones join together. Now, the other joint is not at all related to this. Here we are talking about a drug which is often known as marijuana. If you have knowledge of drugs, then you will know that this is a form of natural drug. It's also called cannabis. So basically, you get leaves of marijuana and then you crush them, make a powder out of them, and put them in a cigarette and smoke that. That cigarette with marijuana powder is called as a joint. Okay? So you could say that, do you want to have a joint with me? Which means, do you want to have a marijuana cigarette with me? So if someone asks you that question, now you know what it means. The next one we have is sick. The first meaning of sick is you're not feeling well, right? Sick means to not feel well. So for this meaning, you could say that my daughter is sick because she's got a throat infection. Now, the other meaning of sick is awesome, all right? Awesome. This is an adjective. So if you saw an awesome movie, you would say that I saw a sick movie today, which means you saw a great movie, an awesome movie. Okay, now the last one that we have is props. So are you into drama? Have you ever heard the word props when people are talking about drama? So these are the instruments that people use in drama. For example, you would see that when people are doing a drama, they would have different kind of items. Like they might use a gun, but that gun won't be a real gun. It'll be a fake gun. So such a fake gun is called props because it's used during the drama, okay? So these are fake equipments which are used during dramas or in movies and many other places. And what's the other meaning of props? The other meaning for props is to give credit to someone. To give credit. For example, if your friend Katie threw an awesome party, then you could say that props to Katie for throwing such an awesome party, which means credits to Katie for throwing such an awesome party. You could also say that props to David for handling the situation so well, which means credits to David for handling the situation so well. So when you want to give credit to someone, you could also use props. And this is how we use all these words with two different meanings. One of the meanings is the meaning that you can write, but the other meaning is the meaning that you can only speak. The meaning that you can only speak is a slang word, all right? So thank you so much for watching this lesson with me. Come back for more lessons on Let's Talk. Till then, take care. Ta-da!